It's been 1 week since the launch of the beta of Dual Universe, so I thought it'd be great to sit down and talk about how the first week of this ambitious new MMORPG has gone down. Because oh boy, it's been an interesting one for sure. Hey everyone, my name is Captain Jack and welcome back to my channel. We're talking Dual Universe once again, and as mentioned, this is because it's been 1 week exactly since the beta release of the game. I'm honestly loving it, the voxel-based building has caught me and I'm really enjoying building my headquarters and having fun designing it, even if it's a little bit challenging at times. Today I'll be chatting about a few things that happened since the beta launch last Thursday, including server issues, my comments on the graphics, a data breach, and my thoughts on the game overall so far. We'll be talking all about that in a moment, but first, if you're new around here then make sure to hit that subscribe button to keep up to date with my Dual Universe videos and overall YouTube content. While you're here, I'm also streaming over on twitch.tv/CaptainJackYT. All the links you need are in the video description below. Oh, and if you're also playing Dual Universe and looking for an organisation to join, and you want to be a part of my community, come join RWI. You can learn more about that in my community Discord server. Again, the links are below in the video description. Alright, let's get into this. Dual Universe's beta launch went as expected in the overall scale of beta launches when it comes to brand new video games. Yes, issues happened, mainly with the server for the game, as Novaquark, the developers, did not expect so many players to be joining with the beta launch. Over the weekend, until around about Tuesday morning, there have been multiple server restarts and reconnects due to connection issues for players. This also comes down to players being unable to mine, build, or do the core features inside of the game. I can say that as of Tuesday the 1st, Novaquark have issued a patch and upgrade for the server, which has improved the quality of servers for us players so far, which is obviously good to hear. I've seen a lot of people commenting this is a bad reflection of the game so far, and not a good sign. While yes, server crashes and connection issues on day 1 of a beta launch is not a good look, you've got to take into account that this is a brand new game entering beta for the first time. Issues are to be expected. Overall, my experience with the game across the last week has been alright. Like other players, I've encountered my fair share of server issues and connection issues, but given the time, they were resolved, and again, this is a beta launch, so problems should be expected. Now yes, of course, I completely level with you. It is frustrating when you pay for a product and of course you want it to work when and where you want it to work. But at the end of the day, Dual Universe is clearly described as a beta launch right now. So therefore you do have to temper your expectations so far, as I will move into in a moment. I do think the game should have launched with a few more polished features, or polishing existing in-game systems a little bit. Before we do dive into the game content at launch, let's talk about internet security and a data breach that was suffered across the weekend during a beta launch. As shown on screen now, this announcement was posted in the Community Dual Universe Discord server on August 31st, which meant that the new website had multiple issues when it launched. This was apparent as on last Thursday the website did not work correctly when launching a beta on time, a few technical issues it does seem. Now Novaquark did suffer from a data issue that resulted in them resetting all user account passwords to ensure security, meaning when you log back in you need to change your password. If you still don't log back in yet, you're going to need to change your password, and I'd say do it sooner rather than later. The actual cause of this was that a very small group of accounts had been affected by personal data disclosure. Basically, nothing like super critical like credit card details had been released, however some accounts would be able to see other accounts' details like emails and like first and last names. So not the best thing in the world, but it was only a small number. Luckily for us, the developer team was on hand to fix this quickly and roll out a patch to the website. It is a shame this happened and overall does not look good, but I think we can rest assured that it was only happening to a small tiny number of people. Through covering the game across the weekend and this week, I've not heard or seen of anyone mentioning suffering from this incident, which leads me to believe it's on a very small scale. I did just want to mention this and remind you to set strong passwords and always use two-factor authentication when securing your online account. Whether it be Dual Universe or your Twitter account, always use double-factor security. To be honest, I'm not intending to badmouth Novaquark or the game of Dual Universe by mentioning this, and that's not my intention. Merely just informing you to be safe out there. We've all heard of hacking stories and, losing personal data. Always be secure, and there's plenty of password managers you can use online. I'd recommend you go and do that. Okay, with that out of the way, just wanted to make you aware of that. Let's get back to the game. Talking about the gameplay of Dual Universe, I can easily describe it as very fun so far. As I mentioned at the start, I am loving the voxel-based building system. The type of creations you can make, also while adding detail to them, is insane. Now I've been playing Space Engineers for over 5 years now, and with that I've always wanted to add more detail to my creations. Thanks to the level of detail in Dual Universe's voxel-based system, I can now do that here. I've seriously spent my weekend building away at the RDBI organization HQ on the Sanctuary Moon, which you can see now. It's massive fun and honestly I'm loving it. The building is coming along nicely, and if you want to keep up with my progress, head over to my Twitch via the link in the video description. I'm typically streaming when and where I'm building there, and also I love the feedback you guys can give me. We're sort of building it together in a way. Now when it comes to other aspects of gameplay, I've not explored them as much as I would like to, as I find the building the most fun and I've kind of been addicted to that. The industrial side of things in the game is very interesting as it gives me flashbacks to the days of playing Minecraft Tekkit and also Factorio. You know, you design your complex factories all to produce high-tier components to make great stuff. You sort of have these assembly lines going around everywhere. It makes sense and I kind of like it. I'm thinking that hopefully DU will upgrade and improve the industrial experience at some point, because while it's cool right now, certain elements are rather tedious, though it is enjoyable to have these large factories of machines all working together to make good components for what you eventually want to make, like starships. And you can really see how working an organization benefits everyone in the long run. If you're doing this on your own, Godspeed to you. If you're doing it as an org, well done. So the RDBI factory you've currently got going on at the minute is a knockoff Jaffa factory. Yeah, so think of it how you will. Now when it comes to mining, that is an interesting experience in itself. One I found rather tedious if I'm being totally honest. I think you will get the hang of it eventually if you're good at it, but the in-game tutorial could really be streamlined to explain the mining experience a little bit more. Obviously you have the institute tutorials which you can find at the districts and also the starting location. I do recommend you heavily play them. You can also check out my getting started video I released on Tuesday this week, talking about how you can get started in the game of Dual Universe if you're having any issues so far. Do let me know what you think of the gameplay experience in the comment section below. I'm really interested in your thoughts after this week's launch right now. So what can Dual Universe improve on? Well, my main thing to talk about would be the graphics quality of the game. Personally, I'm not a big fan of the current graphics. They seem rather low poly and not that high in detail. This could just be because it's a beta and polishing of how the game will look is expected at a later date. That would make perfect sense. Lots of games have graphic updates when they pass a certain milestone. Luckily, Novaquark is already aware of mine and other thoughts on graphics, as the beta improvements list details graphical improvements at a later date. Dual Universe is expected to have greatly improved visuals for planet assets, a revamp of current planets, and an overall greater sense of scale and awe while exploring Dual Universe. Honestly, I think these improvements alone will increase the level of details we'll get within the game. Ships and creations already look awe-inspiring and shiny depending on what you build them out of. That's something to keep in mind. My next thing of improvements is about the organization system and also the RDMS, which is the rights and duty management system, aka permissions. I feel like DU should have launched into beta with these two systems more refined. Organization permissions and roles are rather lackluster right now. I feel as an organization leader, I should have more control and more power to delegate my power to other legates and such. The organization system is good and all, but we're missing a bank for the guild already. This system should have been in the game with the beta in my opinion. Of course, a current workaround is to have someone in the org act as a bank, but that comes with heavy risks, as Novaquark plans on adding org wallets at some point in the future, as listed as a coming soon on the starting screen. Hopefully it's just sooner rather than later, as it's a feature people need inside of the game right now. Speaking of soon, the page does mention a roadmap which I can't find anywhere. I'm going to reach out to the devs and ask about this, and if you keep up to date with me in Discord or follow me on social media, I'll tweet it out when I actually get an answer on it. Hopefully this is also being revealed soonish, as I think it would give players a good sense and grasp on what to expect from the developers and the future of the game. Before I do forget, the RDM system needs some more overhaul or optimization. This is of course a rights and duty management system. While it can be easy to work with, I think totally new players will find it confusing and also intimidating, as you can easily get lost in what you're supposed to do with it, as I found out now multiple times. Again, this feature is listed as being improved as a later stage in the beta, with a more straightforward and accessible rights management system to make it easier and faster to assign rights in your constructs. The overall improvement is also set to give easier management of organization assets, something which builds into my earlier point on org control of the legates and those in charge. The last thing you want as a player is to log on and find everything you've worked so hard on has been stolen and taken away by someone else. That would suck and is likely to take you away from the game end of. Additional improvements coming further down the line are player-owned markets, an improved PvP experience, territory warfare, which is where you can seize control of hexes etc, thanks to ship versus building PvP, more character customization and energy management, as well as more stuff. This is all on the roadmap for some point. Again, not entirely sure when this will come, as I've not seen an updated roadmap for a while. The last one was easily from, I think, either the start of this year or the end of last year, so hopefully we'll get more details on that soon. Closing off this video, I think a lot of the current issues and problems we're facing with the game kind of come down to just sitting back and saying it's a beta. But while it's a good way to take things, it's also wise to recognise the current issues we're facing and how and when they're going to be fixed. Novaquark was speedy with their server upgrade, which appears to have fixed most of the pressing server issues right now, though we're still seeing server reboots which do not affect players that much. As the queue to login has shortened massively. Whether there also might be some sort of daily server restart implemented, I am not sure just of yet. Overall, I'm enjoying the game so far. Creating massive buildings, flying around on miner ships, all of my friends and community members is fantastic. Honestly, if this all goes to plan, I can see myself really playing this game in the long run, and I really hope that some of you will be joining me as well. One thing I do think Novaquark should improve on right now is communication in general. Yes, we've got the community Discord server and social pages, however I think general updates could go a little bit better. A lot of the dev team or independent developers such as the community managers, they know, you probably know who I mean by this point if you're in Discord, I'm not going to name names, have been really on the ball responding to player things. However, making use of announcement channels on a bit more of a regular, I think could really improve communication in general. I'll see how it goes for the next couple of weeks before I make like a definitive comment on it, but it's just something I've noticed right now. I think it could be streamlined a little bit better. Regarding the subscription system, personally I don't mind. It's not my typical go-to, as many of you, I like to pay up front for the services I have, but at the same time, I'm going to be spending tons of time in the game, like I have in last week, it does not bother me. I'm already paying less for Dual Universe than I pay for my Netflix subscription, which costs me more per month, might I add, and I also use that less than Dual Universe right now. I've seen a fair few questions about this on whether we'll eventually see the subscription model dropped. I do not think so. This is a revenue model that Novaquark have chosen to support the development and running of Dual Universe, so I think it's going to be around for the long run as the game lives on. At a later date, I'll be talking about how to get the most out of your DU subscription, but we'll save that for another time. Alright everyone, that does end me off on the video for today. If you liked and what I've spoken about and want to share your own thoughts, then please feel free to let me know via the comment section below. If you're looking to join my organisation, RWI, inside of Dual Universe, then join my community Discord server to learn more. Hit that subscribe button to never miss a video. For now, I've been Captain Jack, thanks for watching, and I'll be back very soon with more Dual Universe content. See ya!